Welcome to FanZcene Video, where we have all of today's latest and greatest releases, from action and adventure, to comedy, to fantasy, to horror, sci-fi, and some of those rare and hard to find ones. FanZcene Video, the video store where we have it all. Hello and welcome back to FanZcene Video. I am your owner, your operator, your guide through this fictional video store of mine, FanZcene. And in today's FanZcene video store review, let's talk the 1987 often overlooked, underappreciated as far as I'm concerned, 1987 Jon Cryer film, Morgan Stewart's Coming Home.
Okay, let's do it.
If you've never rented or seen Morgan Stewart's Coming Home, that's okay. You're probably, in the majority there. Not a lot of people have seen this. This is, like I said, is not all that well known, but it's actually a pretty decent, fun flick. It's not in the leagues of like the John Hughes, Pretty in Pink, and, Ducky character Jon Cryer did and all that. It's not quite in that league, but it's actually a fun watch, and I think it's a bit underappreciated. The movie is essentially about this character, Morgan Stewart, who was sent off to boarding school when he was like 6 years old. His dad is a very powerful senator. His mom is like the woman behind the man, and he just so badly wants to come home and be a part of his family and have like the perfect family. And for whatever reason, like campaign obligations and this and that the his mom and dad kind of keep just putting him off and leaving him in school. And so he's like sort of connected with horror movies, which was really cool because it was fun to see a character in the 80s films, sort of be like a horror fan, which you didn't get a lot of back then. So, he's got like Dawn of the Dead posters, Day of the Dead posters, and horror stuff all over his room. Toby Hooper, and he does like a lot of movie horror references, and he's got like mask and movie props and stuff. So it's really cool, and it was really great way to connect his character to the audience of like movie fans, much like myself. And so he's, like I said, he just so badly wants to come home, and during this break that's coming up, that's around Christmas time, his parents actually decide to bring him home, and he doesn't know why, but he's really excited. He's super excited about it, and he just, he has this idea that he just wants to make him and his mom and dad be this perfect family, like the Brady Bunch. He watches the Brady Bunch and he wants to connect with them. So they bring him home, and he's like really out of his place. It's like one of those out of the element type films where because he doesn't really know his mom and dad, and they're like these rich Washington DC types, and his mom doesn't want him to eat meat, and he's got this like Russian housekeeper and everything, and so he just tries to blend in, and he tries to help with his family, and he just he has this plan to try to get them back together, and it doesn't always work out. And I'm going to show you some clips from the trailer here for you guys, but be aware in the trailer makes it look like it's him versus parents, not which it's not. And we'll get into what the whole thing is all about here in a minute, but here's a little bit of the trailer first.
Morgan Stewart hasn't lived with his parents for 6 years. But now, his mother's come calling.
Mom!
To take him to a place even more frightening than boarding school. Morgan Stewart's Coming Home.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. You didn't have to wait up for me.
You will stay on restriction tonight, tomorrow night, and for the rest of your young life.
Is this some kind of joke?
We're going to be a family if it kills me.
As the movie progresses, you'll see that somebody that works for the Stewart family is kind of, scamming them and taking their money and mistreating them, and is kind of using Morgan because he's brought there because they want to use him to help dad get reelected. They needed a kid because this opponent he's going against was starting to take off in the polls, so they needed to like a new angle. But it turns out like the guy that's running the campaign is really just scamming them and using him, and kind of just like taking money from the family and everything. And it's the family versus him, not the family versus Morgan, which is really weird. But it was really cool, and plus it's got a nice neat little love story, which I really thought was really cool because like Jon Cryer's character Morgan, he's going to I believe it was Toby Hooper. He was going to get an autograph from Toby Hooper. No, not Toby Hooper. Sorry, George Romero. He was going to the mall to get an autograph from George Romero, and he meets this girl there in line, and they connect through their bond of horror, which is really cool, which you don't see much of. I really like that aspect of this film. That's what really drew me into this film, but I think really connected me to this. Plus, it's something you don't really get to see in a lot of films because the dad and mom were conservative. He's a conservative senator, and they become very likable. Maybe the mom is a little annoying, but I get it, what they were going for. And you don't really get to see that a whole lot in films, because it's always one side against the other. So it was really cool to see, like, maybe that how their son's this little different horror guy, and the dad and mom is sort of conservative. And even though, like, they butt heads and they didn't want to be around each other, they really connect and become back together as a family. And plus, John Cryer gets to meet this really great girl. She's very beautiful in this film, and they connect their horror, and they go watch Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, which was really cool. I like that they watched the Attack of Killer Tomatoes. I really like that. And so they kind of connect, and they just like this little family moment, and plus they kind of like come together after all the weirdness, because they think he's so weird with all the likes that the family, mom and dad thinks he's so weird with all that, and he's going through puberty, and he gets this girl and everything, and they don't really know what to do because they've never really been parents. And meanwhile, this guy, the principal from the Breakfast Club, matter of fact, who is scamming them, is using this to his advantage and trying to tear them apart and break down this family and take all their money because they're very rich. And so, and then in the end, it all turns out well.
We'll fight him, Tom. On the beaches, in the air, on the land, on the sea. Together we can beat him.
I think we're talking the Nobel Prize for Revenge.
It's John Cryer, a freedom fighter doing battle against the ultimate enemy, his parents.
There's no known cure for puberty.
Lock the doors, bar the windows, hide your daughter, because Morgan Stewart's coming home.
Now, with this movie, I will say that John Cryer himself does not like this movie. This movie has a little bit of a history. Like, it was actually the way it was written, and the director they hired is not what we actually got. The director was fired 4 weeks into production. The movie was rewritten. They hired a new director, and that director didn't like the film, so he wanted his name removed from the film. And so this movie is directed by Alan Smithee, which Alan Smithee is a name often used by directors who want to remove themselves from a film that they think is garbage. And I really don't think this film is garbage. I think it's actually a really good film. Maybe not the best. It's a little by the numbers at points, but it's actually a pretty fun, entertaining watch. And sadly, for some people that may like this, John Cryer is not too fond of it, and he did apologize for this movie.
So I apologize to everyone for Morgan Stewart's coming home, even to those of you who have not seen it. But I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Now, that may suck for some of us, like myself, who really like that he had to apologize for it, but at least we still have this movie, and we can still watch it, and we can still enjoy it. And if you've never seen this, and if you're curious about it, I would recommend it. It's a fun watch. It's got a nice little fun story to it, and it's got that connection if you're like a horror movie fan, which is really cool to that type of character. And it's really just like a fun movie. And I'm not like a huge John Cryer fan, but he did some really great stuff back in the 80s. And if you want to see this, I recommend it. Check it out. Rent it from wherever you can rent it from, or buy it from wherever you can buy it from. But this is FanZcene from FanZcene Video Store saying, if you want to check it out, check it out. Let me know what you guys thought about this in the comments section down below, especially if you have seen it. If you have not seen it, let me know if I've swayed you into seeing it. And like I said, I like reading those comments, and I like to know what you guys think. And if you like the video, please give it a like. If you like what you saw here, subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. I would truly appreciate that. Share this video out for everybody to see. Thank you guys for watching wherever you guys are. Have a great, safe, happy, healthy day, morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Remember to always support physical media, bring back the video rental store, and Godspeed.